welcome. Hope you're settling in, and it's been a few days, and I'm sure it's been pretty much a whirlwind for you. But I have to ask you, right out of the box. There was a lot of negative reaction to your being picked. Did that bother you? And how are you going to kind of get those people to move the needle to give you an opportunity to do the job that you've been hired to do?
Well, thank you, Jay. No, I'm not settled in just yet. I'm still in Foxborough. I'll be heading to Tucson on Monday, and then begin the process of moving into really phase two, which would be going from being all virtual and talking to the team virtually and talking to some coaches virtually and talking to some recruits to being on campus and being able to really start that next phase of building up our staff and meeting with the coaching staff. As for part two, no, that hasn't really affected me. I know that it's been an incredible journey, and I know it's an incredible privilege. And it's a privilege to be a head football coach in the Pac-12. It's a privilege to be a head football coach in the NFL. It's a privilege to be a head football coach in any college level or any high school level. So the opportunity to be a head coach is fantastic for me. I'm thrilled to it. I've had unbelievable experiences in my career. I've had every job that you could have in the profession. And as it always has worked out in this profession, that if you pay your dues and you work really hard and you find a way to be successful in what you're doing, that the next opportunity comes. And this is a thrilling opportunity for me. And I cannot wait to be a part of University of Arizona football. I think that you guys will be very excited to see who our coaches are. I think you're excited to see who wants to be a part of our program. And as we open up our practices in the spring, I think everyone will feel really good about where we're headed and what we're going to get done.
Players opting out, also players entering the transfer portal. Do you find yourself trying to recruit guys who are already on the team to come back and stay?
Justin, it's a wild situation right now in college football. And I think the double whammy is COVID and the transfer portal combined into one. And it's turned into a situation where guys are feeling, A, they can get another year of eligibility, B, they can get into a transfer portal and not lose a year. They don't have to sit out a year. So what I've found is that we had an opportunity to talk to the team on Wednesday or Tuesday. They've all run together at this point, Tuesday. And then we have Christmas and Christmas Eve and Christmas. I guess it was Wednesday, yeah. Christmas Eve and then Christmas. And then I'll meet with the team again, have started talking to some members. But really for us, it's going to have to be over the course of this week, really connect with our players, our current players, get to know them, get to know what they're thinking, use these next 5 days to really get to know our team, and then obviously try to get to know whatever recruits we need to try to get in the month of January. And then obviously also start investigating the transfer portal as well. So it's a situation where this is the way the college football landscape is. This is what happens when you get hired as a new head coach Christmas week in a program that you have, you're 3,000 miles away. And when I arrive on campus on Monday, I think we'll get going more and more. But unfortunately, due to COVID, it's very difficult to be able to meet or see people in person.
What's your recruiting blueprint in terms of states that you feel you'll focus on and things like that?
Yeah, thanks, Jason, for that question. Really, we need to focus in on the state of Arizona and the neighboring states. We need to make sure that we have to do a better job in the state, first and foremost. I think there were 57 Division I players that were signed. Okay, we didn't sign enough of them. I know the starting quarterback at Oklahoma, I recruited him when he was an 8th grader and freshman at Pinnacle High School. The starting quarterback at Oregon, another Arizona guy. There's too many Arizona guys that are slipping out. We got to own the state. We got to put a lockdown on the state. We've got to do a good job in Southern California. Must do a good job there. It's too critical of a situation in that scenario. So we've got Southern California or California itself. We got to do a good job in Nevada. Okay, Nevada is a huge part for us. And then we have to consider to look at the Utah area and then parts of Texas. But that's kind of, we don't want to start going too far away from our core these areas and really try to attack the state of Arizona and the surrounding spots.
You're the fifth coach here the last 20 years to come to Arizona. What makes this job so difficult?
I don't know that. I don't know what makes it so difficult. Everything that I've seen in this job, everything that I've learned and heard from both Dave Hickey and Dr. Robbins, everything that I've seen in regards to the brand new, beautiful indoor facility, the practice facility, the stadium on campus, that when you're winning can pack all 52,000 people at it, the energy and excitement, enthusiasm of a basketball program that certainly has been able to be as successful as any over the course of time. Obviously, what Coach Olson did by winning a national championship. We need to be able to get to the successes that was had here in the 90s. That's just the bottom line. I don't think there's an easy way to answer that question other than we have to recognize what's gone on. There's been some years. I know Rich Rod had a 10-4 season. I know that Coach Stoops had a bunch of 8 and 9 win seasons, and we have to find a way to have that type of consistent winning. But we have everything we possibly need. We have a great campus. We have great facilities. We have an opportunity to be able to have plenty of different majors on campus. And we have a softball team, a basketball team, a women's basketball team. We have tennis teams. We have all the varsity sports that win. And we need to find a way to do the same.
When you tweeted out, or Arizona football account tweeted out the video, you were in front of the Foxborough sign at the Patriots, and there was snow on the ground, and you're in a polo, and you had kind of your shoulders scrunched up. It looked really cold. Was there not a hoodie option? Did they not get a hoodie?
That's all they sent me. They just sent me one colored shirt. I didn't know I'm like, where's the rest of the gear? I'm in Boston. So we're going to have to change that. I can tell you that. If we hire any coaches from the Northeast, they're getting sweatshirts sent to them.
Okay.
We're going to take care of that right off the bat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been on the other sideline at UCLA, and, you've also been coaching football for a long time. What before you took this job, what was your overall perception of U of A and its football program?
Energy. I've always thought of U of A as kind of a fun place. It's funny that we all have certain memories of certain programs. And I remember when I think it was it was Rich Rod's team that was 6-0 or 5-0, and you guys had game day here, and it was a Saturday night game, and the place was going absolutely wild before the game, and the white towels were flying, and there was this incredible energy at the zoo. And it was I remember turning it on. I think you were playing a top 5 team or maybe number 1 team in the country at that time. And I think you guys were in the top 10 or pretty close to it at that moment. And I remember turning it on and being like, wow, that looks like an incredible atmosphere. And I applied to University of Arizona, and I considered going here when I was a college student. And then I also, it was one of the few schools that I applied to. And then I also, my oldest daughter goes to Arizona. And then I've also looked at going to Arizona in law school when I was considering being a GA and going to law school. So I've always monitored it. I've always seen it. I have friends at it. But that day, that energy, that enthusiasm kind of reminded me of a place that understands pageantry. And when I think of college football, I think of big state universities. And I feel like we got to be able to be one of those programs that people don't want to play. And when they come to our campus, we absolutely pack the place. I mean, it's got to be the most loud, relentless fan base, and the energy and enthusiasm has to be incredible.
Today, you posted a picture of you having a conversation with Tedy Bruschi. I'm just curious what that conversation was like. And also, when you're meeting with these former players, what kind of things are they talking to you about? And maybe what kind of questions are you asking them?
It was great. It was awesome. It was Teddy came over. We had coffee. You noticed that we were 6 feet apart. I made that very clear in the picture. I took out the tape measure to make sure we were good there for our social distancing plan. But we were able to speak about a lot of things. And one of the main things was I wanted him to educate me on the program. I said, just talk to me. Talk to me about what it was like when you got here. Talk to me about, you were a defensive end. You were a 5 technique on the open side. You were a 7 technique on the tight end side. What was that like? How was how did you get recruited? What was the defensive mentality? What was it, how did you guys become so tough and strong and physical? And what are we missing? What do we need to do to bring it back? What's most important to you? And as we continued to share, there was plenty of other things that he and I talked about privately. But I want to, I understand. And in the same conversations I had with many other alumni over the course of the week, obviously Teddy lives here, very close by, 15 minutes away. And it was an opportunity to really sit down and reconnect. I haven't seen Teddy since I saw him in an airplane terminal when I was in Jacksonville 5 years ago.
So what was your main takeaway from that conversation then?
We got to be more like them. We got to find a way to get back to where they were. And if we can do that, we'll have a chance.